Today we're talking about Section 4 of Chapter 26, Making the Peace, or the post-war reconstruction of Europe after World War I. That being said, vocabulary, first term please. Read the definition, then provide the term.
Member of the Big Three, the English Prime Minister during World War I, David Lloyd George.
David Lloyd George, he's the English Prime Minister after World War I. Very good. Next term.
Leader of the French government during World War I, Georges
Clemenceau. Oui, Clemenceau. Next term, Ms. Whiteman.
1919, Germany assumed full blame of the war, huge reparations to Allied nations, limits of the size of German military, Alsace and Lorraine returned to France, and Germany stripped of all overseas colonies, Treaty of Versailles.
Treaty of Versailles. Now, an easy way to understand what the Treaty of Versailles did for Germany, made them very, very weak. That's what I want you to remember, and that's the whole intent of this program, so you might want to write that in next to your definition. The whole intent of the Treaty of Versailles is to make Germany very weak, so they can never stage another comeback. Well, obviously we know Adolf Hitler is going to have some plans, and it's going to happen. Okay? Next term? Ms. Brady?
Created out of the Paris Peace Conference, it was also one of Wilson's 14 points. This was a collection of the allies and other nations in Europe to ensure peace. League of Nations.
Very good, and that's actually your 14th point. Excellent. And then the next term, please. Ms. Sackett.
Payments for war damage, reparations.
Reparations. An easy way to understand it, you need to repair what was destroyed. A payment for war damages, you need to repair what was destroyed. Okay, so the loser, essentially, of the war has to pay these back. All right, and then the final term. Ms. Whiteman.
Territories that were administered by European powers, mandates.
Mandates. Okay? They're under mandatory control by the Allied powers. Mandates. Excellent. Number one, which one of these terms does not belong? So start with what doesn't belong and then give us a thought process here. Go ahead.
Armistice doesn't belong. And the other three is because after the war, national war debts caused the governments to collapse, as well as colonial unrest.
Very good. So national war debts, mainly because of reparations. Even the victors of the nation had to pay a lot of money because, again, wars cost money. Collapsed governments, we're looking at the reconstruction with the mandate system. Several new countries, as we started with the map today, were created out of this. And colonial arrests. A lot of the people that fought on the side of the mother country, specifically colonies in Africa and Asia, were promised this, that, and everything else, didn't receive it, so now they're unhappy, causing problems for the mother country. Number two, Georges Clemenceau, Woodrow Wilson, David Lloyd George, Edith Cavell. Robinson.
Edith Cavell is out.
Yep.
Also known as the Big Three, Clemenceau, Wilson, and George tried to weaken Germany so it could never again threaten France.
Very good. Weaken Germany is the big idea there. Excellent. Okay? Number three, propaganda, reparations, Versailles, Alsace, and Lorraine. Donahan?
Propaganda should not be in there, and the Treaty of Versailles made Germany pay reparations, and the treaty made Germans leave their houses in Alsace.
Very good. So the Treaty of Versailles, or it's signed in Versailles, so you need to have T of there. Okay? Caused reparations for the German government, and they had to return Alsace and Lorraine to the French. Now, why do we have Alsace and Lorraine? Why is it such a big deal? Is it just any plot of land, or does it have something that can offer industrial countries? What do you guys think? Alex?
Like natural resources?
Absolutely. Specifically one here we're looking for.
Gold?
Nope. You need this for industry.
Coal.
Coal. Very good. Okay, that's what we're mainly concerned with here. Coal. Okay. Number four, self-determination, trench warfare, Poland mandates. Ms. Langer?
Trench warfare is out.
Perfect.
And Poland became an independent nation after more than 100 years of foreign rule or received self-determination under the mandate system.
Perfect. Okay. They received self-determination as well as many other countries. Excellent job. Several of which of these countries that were existing as members of the Central Powers are placed under mandate, which basically, once again, means they're being controlled by the Allied powers to ensure what?
They don't start a war again.
They don't start a war again. Absolutely. Great job, Alex. Any questions about this so far? And again, we're going to keep moving. This will be available on the YouTube video if you need it at a later point. Okay. Objective 1. Describe the problems Europeans faced after 1918. Ms. Schneid.
Communism spreads in many places were largely unstable. Material costs were staggering, and millions of soldiers were dead, and a pandemic of influenza spread across.
Perfect. A lot of things are going on here. Enormous reparations. Communism spreads. What country was created during World War I?
Check.
Used to be known as Russia.
Soviet Union.
The Soviet Union. Very good. Okay? That's what we're concerned about, the existence of the Soviet Union. So for the next couple chapters here in class, you are going to have to refer to it as the Soviet Union, as Russia no longer exists. Okay? That being said, many governments are weak and stable, so you have all of these problems going on and no way to end them. Nationalistic uprising occurring in colonies, that's that colonial unrest that we were talking about earlier. You were,
Mr. George,
yeah,
we need Alex Silverhorn, please.
on his way. You were promised rights, you were promised privileges from the mother country, and they're not going to be there. Okay? So make sure you have friendly colonies. Just silently shut the door. Next objective, explain how the big three disagreed over peace. Just shovels.
Alright, George's and Clemenceau, is that their names? George, like,
David Lloyd George and
Yeah.
Clemenceau, yep.
wanted to weaken Germany in like a harsh way, and Wilson wanted to use the 14 points.
Good. So Wilson urging the 14 points, which was his plan, with the 14th point being what?
League of Nations.
Very good. Okay? 14 point being the League of Nations. So he has a more peaceful approach to this. David Lloyd George, however, where's the pen? David Lloyd George demand harsh punishment towards the Germans and ongoing payments to Parliament. Okay? He wants revenge, and he wants it to become basically in the form of a paycheck. And now Clemenceau called for demilitarization of Germany, war reparations, and duty-free coal shipments. Now we're going to analyze this one for a little bit here. What does demilitarization mean?
To get rid of the military.
To get rid of the military, or to do what to the military? Simply weaken it, lessen its numbers, absolutely. Now why does it make sense that Clemenceau wants this?
He's French.
He's French. Okay, so geographically speaking, Germany's pretty much their neighbor. You want to make sure your neighbor is weak, doesn't have a lot of missiles, a lot of tanks, anything that could threaten the security of your country. So it makes sense that he wants the demilitarization of that. All right? Duty-free coal shipments. What does that mean?
No armed duty, like soldiers or something.
You guys ever been to a duty-free store?
No.
Usually, like if you go to fly out of Detroit, you can see them, duty-free stores. Any flight that is leaving or entering a country. Okay, basically, you don't have to pay the full price, nor do you have to pay full taxes.
Wouldn't that be like for people that are in the army, like if you're on base? Like you
Absolutely.
have to go?
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Okay? But again, duty-free coal shipments. So what are they requiring here? Coal that doesn't cost nearly as much or at all. Very good. Okay? Because that Germany was previously occupying what?
Alsace and Lorraine.
Alsace and Lorraine. So we're bitter for all of that land and all that coal that we lost during that time period. Germany was previously occupying Alsace and Lorraine. Now we have it back, but we've lost years of coal in the time period. And the final objective. Summarize the results of the Paris Peace Conference. Ms. Valandra.
Self-determination spread throughout Europe, and the peace settlement created the system of the New.
Perfect. And the ultimate peace settlement will be the 14 points, and with that, the League of Nations. Okay, so we need to have both of these here to start, for sure. Now, mandate system gave Germany's overseas colonies to the Allied powers, so mandate system to the Allied powers. Germany significantly weakened. Treaty of Versailles, as the final resolve there, greatly weakens Germany. Now, I've included this political cartoon because you may eventually see this on the MME. It has appeared there before. Really quick, are we familiar with bridges? Or at least masonry?
Yeah.
What is a keystone? You guys ever heard of that?
It doesn't have mark where you are.
In a stone arch, I'll help you with this. In a stone arch, what we have here, a keystone is the most significant and highest load-bearing point on the bridge. meaning you have all this pressure from the left, all this pressure from the right, hailing to this one single point. Now, why do you guys think the Keystone has USA on it?
Because Wilson's 14 points, he was weakening both sides and keeping himself powerful.
Not quite.
Our neutrality, basically, from the war, how we were supporting either side and helping everybody out and trying to make everything peaceful and all that.
But if you look at this, it's England, France, Belgium, and Italy. These are your allied nations. So these are all friendly nations. Okay? We've planned this whole peace component, yet the United States is just hanging out over here. Who's this guy? Uncle Sam. Okay? Now, why do you think the United States is here, whereas your League of Nations is all right here?
Because we didn't join.
Because we never joined. We had this remarkable idea of total peace and an organization that will ensure peace, and we, the United States, never joined. So do you think the League of Nations is going to be effective?
No.
Absolutely not. The League of Nations will not be effective because we never joined. Wilson is touring overseas, and the Congress essentially shuts down the whole idea of joining this, this peace organization. Homework for tonight. The next section, QREV. Peer tutors will be passing that out. And then on page 845, you'll see the questions for section 5 pre-read. Number 1, as always, you just define the terms 3 through 6. Answer as the book directs.